Hello and welcome back to the Mind and Money podcast. I'm Sherry, a financial coach.
And I'm Val, a financial planner. And today we are talking about a question that came up in our Facebook group. The question is, how do we prepare for full-time self-employment? For both of us, this was not a journey we took because Sherry got hit by a 2x4 into full-time self-employment. And I jumped out of the security of working at the bank, not really knowing if I had a parachute on my back or not. So what we want to do is share with you what we would have done if we had planned to become business owners.
And what we help our clients do
yes.
who are ready and come to us with I want to be fully self-employed. What does that look like? And often in that case, they are self-employed as a side hustle or some type of part-time capacity. And they want to be able to see, how can I take this leap? When can I take this leap? And what should I have in place before I take that leap? I guess when I reflect back, I kind of did do this when I took a full-time job in 2023. And and was working full time in addition to having my business on the side. And then I started to realize that full time self employment was not for me, despite the position being within my wheelhouse as a financial coach and fully remote, and it had all that flexibility. I just realized I need all of the flexibility, and I need to be fully self employed, and that's best for my mental health. So when I started to realize that, I started to build a game plan. And one of the things that I did, and if you are starting a side hustle, you're starting a business with a goal to move full time, I encourage you to try and live off of your income from your job and let that income from the business that you've started accumulate. Cover your business expenses, but then let it accumulate.
Start building that buffer, right? Like instead of doing a hard stop and a hard start, do a bit of like a Venn diagram where you're still working, but you're planning for your future. Like you're paving the path. So when you do get off of the path of full-time employment, there's some ground laid there for you.
Yeah, there's some runway. And
yes,
one of the things that I encourage somebody to do is have at least 3 months of the salary that you need to pay yourself saved up. Because if you aren't focusing on building this nest egg in your business, what can happen is then you feel like you need to have your self-employment income very closely matched to what your job income is. That can lead to burnout pretty damn quickly. Like if you're
really
trying to work 7-8 hours in your business and a full-time job so that you can replace your income, so that if you leave in March, in April, your self-employment income fully replaces it because you have no buffer. That's one shitload of pressure on you.
And then you find like sales being pushed, then you find you're not coming from that genuine place. You're coming from a place of scarcity, which people can feel, you don't love it. So I think the foundation of that too is figuring out what do you need to make? What are your business expenses? What are your personal expenses? What do you need to contribute to the household? Start with that foundation. As always, what do you need?
And what are you willing to temporarily pause or reduce? So looking at your household budget and the expenses that you need to contribute to it, are there things that you can cut back, reduce, remove so that you can step into full-time self-employment faster? Because it's all about give and take, right? So the more you work in your business now, the more revenue you're bringing in, the sooner you can have that 3 or 4 months of your salary saved up, the sooner you can leave. But the lower you can get your household expenses, the lower you can get your business expenses, also the sooner you can leave. So all of these factors play a part in building that timeline on when you can leave. And I highly encourage you to sit down, build this foundation, but then set a goal around when you want to get there, depending on how things go in your business and on the personal side. And maybe you really take a long, hard look at the personal finances and you realize oh crap, if we cut back things here, whether you have a spouse or a partner or a roommate that's all in with you and your business, you can figure out, I can contribute less than I thought. So that shortens the runway of me being able to leave. So it's just creating some stability for yourself so that you aren't ending up like thirsty for money and be like taking on clients you don't want to work with and you get the ick from.
Yeah, that aren't aligned, right? And I think some structural pieces too is like when you leave that employer, are you leaving anything that you might need to recreate, i.e. benefits? Like thinking about those pieces too. It's a bit bigger picture for this conversation's purposes, but typically we lose some benefits. So do we need to recreate those in a different way personally? And every accountant and bookkeeper would probably want to hear this, opening a separate bank account.
As soon as you start a business, please
keep it separate.
Keep it separate. Have a separate account, have a separate credit card if you need a credit card for your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on your business structure and where you live, these can start as personal accounts because separate is better than ideal. Separate and using a personal account is better than like waiting 6 months or 12 months and then going to open a business account and a business credit card. And then you've just got everything commingled. And tell me you're going to go through your bank account statements and all of your credit card statements and figure out what expenses were business and where your income came from, because that's not going to happen. And you're going to end up paying more taxes than you need to because you've missed business expenses. And yes, taxes need to be a consideration of this. And when you have a business on the side and you have a full-time job, the tax percentage you need to put away is going to be higher, it's like dependent on your income from your job than when you move into full-time self-employment. So if you're making 80 grand at your job, they're going to be taking off a tax percentage there. But then if you make $20,000 in your business profit, your overall income tax is going to be as an income earner who earned 100K in income. So that 20K is going to be taxed a lot higher than if you made 50K in your business the following year. So you can adjust that when you move into full-time self-employment, depending on your numbers. But yeah, have that solid foundation, have that clarity, and think about, like I recommended 3 to 4 months of salary, but think about what number gives you security.
Yep.
But also doesn't give you so much security that you give your notice for your full-time job and then you just keep putting the level of effort into your business that you did when it was a side hustle or side income, because there's something to be said for having pressure to earn income in your business.
Your take on this is it's healthy, right? That like having that piece is a good thing because then you're not taking your foot off the gas pedal and getting too comfortable.
Yes. So it's about finding that sweet spot for you and knowing. And a big piece of this puzzle is, where is your business income now compared to what income you need to make to fully replace and cover your personal expenses? And the closer those are, the like smaller nest egg is ideal, because then you've got that balance. So ideally for any entrepreneur though, I do encourage having like 3 to 4 months of your salary covered, because business income varies and the variability is going to depend on your business model. Right?
100%. And the industry you're in, is it seasonal? Like there's so many pieces to it.
Yeah. And what is your service offering if you're a coach or a consultant? Like, do you have clients that sign up to pay you a monthly fee for 6 months or a year? Are you a social media manager where you indefinitely might work with a client? So your business structure and how you work with clients, are you always on the hunt for clients and they're all one-off project based? So how much your income varies, what your business structure is like, if you're seasonal, all play into how much to have saved before you take the leap. But so many people are so nervous to take the leap. So the post in the Facebook group that I saw that kind of inspired this was, the person mentioned that her business income now is very similar to her
job.
Her job. But then the questions are, what are your business expenses? Because your business expenses play a big part. If you have a business that has $200 in expenses a month, that's very different than $2,000.
Yeah.
So what are your business expenses? What are your take home? Are you looking at, okay, I'm making $4,000 in my business now and I get paid $2,000 twice a month, but that $2,000 you get paid twice a month already has taxes taken off. It doesn't consider business expenses. Getting clarity on the complete picture and then deciding, when I have this much in my bank account and this much, recurring or average revenue, I'm going to take the leap. And you're never going to feel fully ready. But also on the flip side, if you have ADHD, you're probably going to want to do it now.
Yes.
With not a whole lot of plan. And I just encourage you to pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brakes, sit down, look at your numbers, and don't hesitate to run it past an expert like Sherry or I, where then you have that second set of eyes to be like, okay, does this make sense? Does this all here? Because we might also have a question or a perspective that makes you go, oh, I didn't think of that. So you don't have to do it alone because it can be really scary and uncertain to do it in general. Then doing it when you feel alone is like, oh my gosh, especially if you're a single income and or the household isn't like necessarily sharing support of income.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of different factors, and just taking a step back and brainstorming what things you want to have in place before you take the leap and where you think you need to be, and then setting a timeline and thinking about, how do I get here in this timeline, and what do I need to do with my money today, with my business today to get to this timeline in 2, 3, 4, 6 months time, and whatever that looks like. And if you have ADHD, know that you will get resourceful and you might be worried about things, but when you have that, like, shit, this is it, you're going to be able to do things that are going to be wildly outside of your comfort zone. And I also encourage you, if you are an entrepreneur with ADHD, find a buddy and share your goals and your plans with them so that they can kind of push back and say like, oh, you were going to do this and this, but you haven't yet. What's up with that? And you can offer them that same support as well, because that can be really huge. And going to like building virtual or in-person co-working so that you have more focused time to work, because sometimes, shocker, we can get distracted and let some of the weeds of the business hold us back from those actions that are really going to help us grow our business and increase our income.
Yeah, Sherry said it. I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
And we can't wait to see you next time on the Mind and Money podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you are a regular listener. Have a great day.